Welcome to Hero Villains. In your opinion, who would win between Tatsumaki One Punch Man and Thragg, the Invincible series? Tatsumaki, also known as the Tornado of Terror, is one of the strongest heroes in the Hero Association. Despite her small stature, she possesses terrifying psychic power that allows her to control matter, crush enemies, and reshape the battlefield according to her will. Tatsumaki can lift entire cities, create massive telekinetic storms, and overwhelm opponents from a distance without any need for direct contact. Her strength lies in her control of space and her ability to inflict large-scale destruction with frightening precision. Thragg is the Supreme Grand Regent of the Viltrumite Empire, the embodiment of pure physical power and perfect warrior instinct. He possesses physical strength far beyond that of most super beings. Supersonic speed, the ability to fly, and durability that is nearly impossible to break. Thragg has been forged through countless conquests, making every strike lethal, direct, and brutally efficient. In this confrontation, Tatsumaki represents overwhelming power from afar and absolute battlefield control, while Thragg is a storm of destruction charging straight into the heart of combat. Before we dive into the analysis, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Tatsumaki is the embodiment of psychic power. Her ability to manipulate objects with her mind reaches a level that makes witnesses doubt their own eyes. Within a vast area around her body, Tatsumaki can lift, rotate, and crush countless massive objects without showing any sign of fatigue, as if gravity itself is merely a distant concept that does not apply to her. From her very first appearance, this power was displayed clearly when she dragged a meteor from outer space and hurled it straight down onto her enemy, annihilating the monster in an instant with chilling calmness. Even so, Tatsumaki's abilities are not entirely limitless. Certain spacecraft with unusual size and structure fall outside her capacity to manipulate, suggesting that her upper limit is likely tied to objects with diameters of a few hundred meters or less. While she cannot single-handedly wipe out all life on Earth, Tatsumaki is more than capable of turning a major city into rubble within a short time. Tokyo or any other metropolis could collapse if she truly desired it, as Tatsumaki can fly freely and is almost completely unaffected by the environment or the atmosphere. Within the One Punch Man universe, she surpasses the vast majority of both monsters and heroes. Even when injured, Tatsumaki easily overwhelms Saikorochi, proving the astonishing level of power of the Tornado of Terror, an entity whose mere presence is enough to make the battlefield tremble. In the world of One Punch Man, Tatsumaki is truly placed below only a handful of rare names. The most prominent among them is, of course, Saitama. The two once had a brief encounter, and although it was not a true battle, it was still enough to reveal the difference between them. Even while weakened, Tatsumaki was still able to use her psychic power to lift Saitama off the ground, even if only by a few meters. That moment demonstrated that her strength is anything but ordinary. However, the truth remains unchanged. No matter how far Tatsumaki reaches at her peak, she still cannot defeat Saitama, an existence that stands far beyond all conventional standards. Goro, after awakening, became overwhelmingly powerful, surpassing Golden Sperm and King Orochi, with strength that even approached that of Lord Boros. Yet, even Boros, the being known as the dominator of the universe, who wandered across space in search of a worthy opponent, could not reach Saitama's realm. He was powerful enough to shake an entire galaxy, but still fell to a single simple punch. Tatsumaki, nevertheless, continues to hold a unique and exceptional position. She is not only the strongest telekinetic in One Punch Man, but also ranks among the most terrifying psychic entities. Her small frame stands in complete contrast to the immense power hidden within. Tatsumaki being ranked as the second strongest hero does not come from fame or luck, but from unbelievable feats, most notably her ability to endure and resist an attack with gravitational force 300 times greater than normal. Tatsumaki consistently makes both monsters and heroes remain on guard. During a confrontation with a godlike entity, she maintained astonishing composure. She immediately brought all of her allies back to the ground safely, an action that clearly demonstrated her near-perfect control over the battlefield. Psychos later admitted that Tatsumaki had deliberately restrained her own power, not because she was weakening, but because she knew exactly when to hold back her final card. When the situation grew tense, Tatsumaki revealed a portion of her true strength. She lifted the entire Monster Association headquarters off the ground, turning a massive structure into a mere toy in her hands. That moment alone was enough to confirm her status as at least a top-tier hero. The battle with Psychos continued to escalate as Tatsumaki dragged enormous rock masses from dozens of miles away. The sheer force made the ocean surface tremble as if a tsunami were about to form, before she hurled everything at her enemy in a state of perfectly controlled fury. Tatsumaki discovered the weakness of the godlike entity in order to escape, proving that she possesses a sharp tactical mind rather than relying solely on brute force or psychic ability. Even when Psychos was nearly driven into a corner, Tatsumaki still created an almost impenetrable barrier that covered half the city. The attack Psychos unleashed afterward was merely a decoy, and Tatsumaki saw through it completely. The cold and ferocious look in her eyes at that moment sent chills down the spine of anyone facing her, as if standing before a storm that was both terrifying and irresistibly captivating. I truly hope you will subscribe to the channel, as it helps us tremendously, and you are the best. Thank you very much. Now let us talk about Thragg. Thragg is the Supreme Regent of Viltrum, a position not meant for the ordinary. From the moment he was a child, he was raised with a single purpose: to become the strongest individual of the Viltrumite race. Every form of training Thragg endured was harsher than that of anyone else, forging him into a perfect warrior. In Thragg, there is no concept of restraint or half measures. He was shaped to be the best in every aspect, a symbol of absolute power created through ruthless discipline and unbreakable will. Compared to Thragg, even legendary figures such as Omni-Man or Conquest, who lived for thousands of years, pale in comparison. Thragg represents the absolute pinnacle, the convergence of superior genetics and relentless combat conditioning from the moment of birth. The title of the strongest Viltrumite in the universe is not exaggeration, but a proven fact, as he is capable of facing multiple planet-level destroyers at the same time and crushing them with a single strike. This overwhelming power becomes even clearer when examining the destruction of Viltrum itself. Nolan, Mark, and Thaddeus played a role in destroying a planet that was twice the size of Earth. Although the planetary core was unstable at the time due to the effects of the Infinity Ray, Viltrum's durability still far exceeded that of Earth. Thaddeus warned that if the core had stabilized, they could have died instantly upon impact. It is important to remember that the Infinity Ray is powerful enough to obliterate stars, yet Viltrum endured countless brutal battles for survival. A race capable of leveling cities could not have emerged from a fragile planet. That is precisely why, when facing Earth, Viltrumites often mock the weakness of its environment, as it is simply incapable of withstanding the level of power they consider natural. And Thragg himself can still bring down planet-destroying machines with a single blow. Even if one accepts the argument that Hulk may surpass Thor in raw strength, Thragg still exists on an entirely different tier. From a personal perspective, Thor's power may be enough to overwhelm a small nation, but that is insignificant when compared to the Regent of Viltrum. Thragg does not suffer from inherent weaknesses such as Hulk's uncontrollable rage or Thor's reliance on weapons and circumstances. To him, a punch from someone wearing iron armor or any conventional attack is little more than a passing breeze. What makes Thragg truly terrifying is not just his physical force or durability, it is his combat experience, forged through countless massacres, his cold-blooded brutality, and a warrior instinct that never hesitates. He strikes to kill, not to display strength. For that reason, it is difficult to imagine a scenario in which Hulk could overpower or defeat Thragg in a true battle, where every mistake is paid for in blood. In terms of power scaling, Thragg reaches at least a multi-continental level, with enough raw strength to crush vast landmasses through sheer force alone. His potential may even extend to moon level, or possibly as high as small planetary level. This assessment is not an exaggeration, as Thragg possesses power comparable to individuals who took part in the destruction of planet Viltrum. When a warrior stands on equal footing with those capable of erasing an entire world, unfortunately, no matter how impressive the feats within Invincible may be, they are still not sufficient to be weighed equally against Hulk, a true cosmic monster. Hulk is not only strong, but represents a kind of power that even the most powerful entities must treat with caution. Even the Beyonder once stated that Hulk's potential is limitless, and that was no empty claim. Hulk's true strength at any given moment depends directly on the rage boiling within him and the extent to which Banner is willing to release his self-control. Hulk may only appear to be on the same level as the Thing or the Blob. However, that is merely the surface. As his rage continues to rise, Hulk can easily overwhelm Hyperion and even defeat Gladiator, warriors renowned for possessing near godlike strength. And if someone continues to provoke him, paying the price becomes only a matter of time. Hulk will ascend to a level capable of directly confronting Silver Surfer, Hercules, and Thor. Even more terrifying, he can contend with Thor when Thor is empowered by the Supreme Odin Force, a state believed to surpass even Odin at his peak. Thragg is truly a nightmare. As the supreme ruler of Viltrum, even in a life or death battle, Nolan once told Mark that Thragg had been forged more brutally than any other Viltrumite. The strongest blows from other Viltrumites hardly cause any meaningful damage to Thragg, at most drawing a nosebleed. In contrast, every strike he delivers carries absolute destructive force, capable of crushing skulls, tearing bodies apart, or severing heads in an instant. The pinnacle of this horror is found in his battle with Battle Beast. At that time, Thragg was nearly dead. His internal organs shattered, his head and eyes smashed and torn out, yet he continued to fight without pause for 4 consecutive days. Compared to the scene where Thanos was merely struck through the chest by Battle Beast's axe, Thragg's endurance and brutality exist on an entirely different level. The battle between Thragg and Battle Beast was so violent that it was capable of tearing a planet apart, turning the surface into a blood-soaked battlefield with no place for the weak. Thragg did not win through strength alone, but through endurance, ferocity, and a warrior spirit that never submits, causing every opponent to feel terror even before the fight begins. Tatsumaki can be considered the second strongest hero in One Punch Man, standing just behind Blast and fully capable of effortlessly wiping out multiple dragon-level monsters. However, when she faces Thragg, the outcome is almost predetermined. Thragg would not merely overpower Tatsumaki, but completely crush her. His strength far exceeds the dragon level standard and is more than sufficient to directly withstand the full extent of Tatsumaki's psychic abilities. Thragg is the strongest Viltrumite in Invincible and clearly ranks among the most terrifying entities in the entire series. He possesses horrifying physical strength, speed comparable to spacecraft, and durability that is nearly impossible to break. The key difference lies in the fact that Thragg was raised and trained from early childhood to become the most perfect warrior of his race. Every combat skill and every survival instinct he has reached an ultimate level. He can fly through space, recover from fatal wounds, and live for thousands of years like an immortal war machine. If Thragg were to appear in One Punch Man, his power would certainly surpass dragon level and approach god level. In a direct confrontation, Tatsumaki would have almost no chance of survival. Either she would be beaten to death or left in a dying state if Thragg chose to show mercy. His willpower is strong enough to resist psychic pressure. To understand how terrifying that level truly is, one only needs to look at Supreme, especially his strongest incarnation. This is an entity capable of piercing an entire planet, and Gladiator himself stated that a battle between the two alone would be enough to destroy the world. Omni-Man once directly exchanged blows with Supreme, and Thragg surpasses even that. He fought Mark under the extreme heat of the sun itself without hesitation. With all of this in mind, it is difficult to believe that Tatsumaki could achieve victory. She would most likely become another victim of Thragg. I believe Thragg would win easily. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like. That is the video for today. Thank you very much.